What's up? I'm Jack from LFC Transfer. I'm here today to talk about Raphinha from Leeds. A transfer that's been circulating. £32 million reportedly was the initial bid Liverpool have put in, and discussions are reportedly beginning to take place to see if the Brazilian could come to Anfield. I spoke with Stu and Sai of I Leeds Therefore I Am to get an expert analysis of him as a player and to get a better idea of what he could potentially bring to Anfield should he make the move this summer. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. Now, after a move from Rennes last summer where he had put 5 goals and 3 assists up in 2019-2020, he put up 6 goals and 9 assists this past season in the Premier League. It was an exceptional reason why Leeds had such a good performance in their first season back in the Premier League under Marcelo Bielsa. What are some of the qualities that made him such a standout player for this Leeds side?
He's one of those players that has the sort of the X factor. Easy to sort of use that phrase, but it's harder to actually see that in actual play. But he's fantastically fast. He's got an amazing acceleration, but then he's got a top speed once he gets going. He's also incredibly skillful. I think he's the most talented player in the Leeds squad, and he's the most talented player we've had for a very long time. So very, very quick. Very direct as well. So he's one of those players that's quite selfish, it seems, but he's almost got the skill to back it up.
Now, Raphinha has come into the squad and, unlike many players, jumped in immediately. And it's in large part due to an exceptional amount of technical ability, great work rate, and an exceptional mentality that's allowed him to succeed in a Marcelo Bielsa side.
It's interesting. Raphinha, for me, is that perfect combination of mercurial individual skill. But one thing that we've seen from him this year, which, if I'm being honest, I didn't think I would see personally, is that he buys in completely to the system that we play. That, for me, is what makes him almost exempt from this tittle-tattle of what's going around about whether he's going to be drawn to this, that, or the other. I'm sure he will in the future, whether it's 2 or 3 years' time, be drawn into that kind of top 4 discussion of who he wants to go to. But make no bones about it, he's got real backbone, and I think he is fitting into our system, and he's taking the chance of coming to Leeds United, not just because he fancies a scrap in the Premier League, or not just because he wants to earn a few more quid. I think he's got integrity.
Raphinha's ability to turn a moment of magic in a tight match where a side is compact defensively is one of the biggest reasons why Liverpool are looking at him, in addition to his exceptional defensive work rate that sees him tracking back at an elite level to make sure a side isn't exposed.
That's actually underplay what he does, because there have been games that have become turgid where we've been going through the Bielsa-style routines and we've been unable to break teams down. The ball's come to Raphinha and he's done something insane. And that might be 2 or 3 passes or 2 or 3 movements behind what eventually then turns into a goal. So those stats actually don't show how important he is to our team, because he can unlock situations that seem to be stuck. Bielsa's the reason. Bielsa's the reason that he's improved, because what's great is you can see him going forward, but you also see him absolutely pounding the grass, running back down the wing to tackle their left back who's trying to start an attacking move.
Now, Raphinha had a very good first season in the Premier League, and there are a lot of building blocks to continue to improve. But Stu and Sai think that he's not just going to be good in the future. He could be one of the best players in Europe.
He's world class. He's absolutely world class. And I think by the time he hits his 25th, 26th birthday, I think he will be one of those kind of Galacticos in Europe. And I think he'll go where the football's good, not necessarily when the money's good. I think he'll go where he'll stand out as a footballer. I can see him as a Barcelona player or something like that in the future.
Now, there's an interesting crossroads this summer where Liverpool need a player to back up the front 3, try and be a bench option behind Salah, come in matches where they want to rest him, while Leeds are going to be demanding quite a lot of money, a lot more than the £32 million that Liverpool initially offered reportedly. And that's going to cause an interesting clash between the demands of Leeds and the needs of Liverpool, and may make this transfer tough to pull off.
He will be a superstar in the future, and we will be looking back and saying, can you believe he played for Leeds? Because I think he'll be at one of your big teams, your Barcelonas, your Bayern Munichs, etc., etc. But it seems slightly ridiculous that we're into this kind of like strange talk. Again, I spoke before, we spoke about Bamford going to Liverpool. That is patently ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous as well that Raphinha would go there, because he's not going for 30 million. I don't think he's going for 35 or 40. But I also don't think we're going to be talking about Maguire pounds either, where it's like 80 or 90. I think Liverpool got different priorities, and I think that even though he's young and he can build on the back of him, I just think the whole thing's ridiculous.
The only way that I could see that happening would be if somebody was to come in and say 60, 70 or 80. But he's not worth that yet, because he's done one season in the Premiership. So I go back to what Stu said. We don't need to sell him, and he's shown with us that he's not going to hand in a transfer request or anything. He's got a real backbone. He's got integrity. So it's 99% certain that Raphinha will be turning out in October, November, then on to February in a Leeds United shirt.
What are your thoughts on Raphinha as a player, and is he a guy you would like to see at Anfield? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on Raphinha, and many thanks to Stu and Sai for offering their great insight on Raphinha. Make sure to go check out their podcast, and for everything Leeds related, you can follow our Twitter. It'll be linked in the description down below. Let us know your thoughts on Raphinha, other players you want to see signed, other players you want to see these kinds of videos made on. For myself, Jack, this has been a video from the LFC Transfer Room. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit. Take care.